On, you're muted, Kim.
Hey, welcome, welcome to everyone who's joining in from zooming in from all around the world, wherever you are, as you're coming into the room and as we're waiting for a few more people to show up. I would love to take a moment to invite you to drop into the chat where you are showing up from today. I love to know where the audience is coming from, who invited you, and say hello in the chat. Feel free, of course, to drop your contact information as well as we get started. And I'd love to welcome you to the Ultimate Marketing Masterclass. It is our first monthly session. So going forward from now on, every single month, 90 minutes, not one expert, 5 experts, proven strategies so you can grow your business, get visible, up-level your authority, increase your sales, and grow your business using strategies that are working right now in today's busy online marketplace so that you don't have to guess what marketing strategies to use. You don't have to piecemeal the puzzle together all on your own. You don't have to second guess what you're doing because the people that we've brought into this room today are doing it all right now and achieving success with each of these strategies. So another good thing about that is you can take what feels good for you and throw away the rest, right? Save the best, throw away the rest. If a strategy feels like it's going to be amazing for your business and it feels super in line with how you love to work with people, then take it on. Take these strategies, bring them back into your world and implement them. 80% of success is just showing up. So the fact that you're even in this room today means you can give yourself a pat on the back because you're here, you're learning, you're growing, and I can't wait to share. Yes, Eric's patting himself on the back. Take a minute, everyone. Pat yourself on the back. Thanks for showing up, right? Thank yourself for showing up because this isn't about me. This is about you and the strategies that you're going to learn here today from these amazing experts that we have here. For those of you who don't know me, my name is Kim. I am the founder of the Book Launch Lab. And what I do is I help coaches, course creators, subject matter experts write and publish a book that you can use to grow your business, to turn readers into clients. So something very strategic that actually brings your audience along a client journey right into the front door of your business. I do this with a model called the client ATM method. So it's how you use a book to attract your ideal audience, have them raising their hand and self-selecting to basically identify themselves as someone that has that potential problem that you can solve with your business. And then you take them from the book and get them out of that book and into your world, into your community, into your free Facebook group or your group Zoom trainings. And that's exactly what you do. You train, you teach, you provide value and build trust. And from there, you gain permission to be able to present an offer. And that's how you monetize. So that's the ATM method that I teach and train on inside of the Book Launch Lab. And I'm going to share a little bit more about that towards the end of this presentation and towards the end of this masterclass. However, the big stars of the show are the other experts that I brought here today. So 5 experts with 5 different marketing strategies that you are going to be able to take. You're going to be able to implement into your business so that you can grow, you can get visibility, you can position yourself with authority, you can get better at sales. And so I've got a really fabulous lineup that I'd love to introduce you here today. So first up on the agenda is the amazing, the one and only Chuck Anderson. Chuck is an affiliate marketing expert. He's a trusted authority in affiliate management. He has over 20 years of experience recruiting, training, and managing high-performing affiliate programs. So if you've ever wondered how it would be to have other people promoting your business, other people putting butts in seats to your events, then Chuck is the guy you need to listen to. He specializes in helping coaches, consultants, event hosts build scalable affiliate systems that consistently fill their practices, their programs, and their events to capacity with qualified leads. So welcome to the stage, Chuck.
Rookie mistake, being muted went right after you being introduced. So so thank you, Kim. That's awesome. And just bear with me here. I'm helping Kim in the background co-produce this. So let me just click there. There we go. Thank you, Kim. You're awesome. So I'm going to talk to you about 3 types of affiliates that you can use to fill any coaching program or virtual event to full capacity. And, full capacity is however you want to define it. Some people are happy with, 10, 20, 30 people at their events. Others want hundreds, some even thousands. And I'm going to talk to you, regardless of what the size of the event or the size of your coaching program is or what your goals are, there are 3 types of affiliates who can get you there. You don't have to just rely on your own list. If you're just starting out, you can learn to leverage other people's lists. And if there's one thing I want you to get from what I'm going to talk to you here about today is that your next client lives in somebody else's community. They live on somebody else's list right now. You don't have to post 3 times a day on social media and spend all day commenting on posts. You don't need to do that. Should you do that? To some degree, yes, it's the slow way. You don't have to spend hundreds or even thousands of dollars a day running advertising on Facebook and Google and YouTube and all of that. At a certain point, you may want to do that for scale, but at this point, whatever point you're at, you don't need to do that. What if you were just one partner or one collaborator away from a big breakthrough that filled your coaching program, or at least filled your webinars, your virtual events to whatever capacity you want? That is exactly what I have been doing for the last 20 plus years with my own events, but also helping people like you with your events. In fact, here's a question for you, okay? And you can put it in the chat. How many of you need a new client this month? Put a yes in the chat. Put a yes in the chat, or a Y. Y is easier to type. If you could use a new client this month, right? And so there we go. So I'm speaking to the right crowd. Awesome. You're going to love some of these other panelists too when they come up. You're definitely in the right room today. So that was me. That's, yes, we need new clients this month. But, if I dial the clock back, about 15 years where I was working my dream job, that dream job came to an end. I got into private consulting, running my own coaching business, and, got off to a fast start. Seemed like everything was great. But then the reality sets in of, it's like, I need a client this month. And hopefully none of you are in this position, but not only do I need a client this month, but if I don't, I'm out of business, right? That was me in 2012. I just come off of my dream job, making, a healthy multi-6-figure income, traveling the world, doing seminars, all expenses paid. The rooms were filled for me. I mean, if that job existed today, I'd still be doing it. But, it did end, and things do change. And so, I got into a situation in 2012 where I started to make some mistakes and I got really desperate, right? So, things were starting to slow down already. I wasn't getting the flow of clients. I had already tapped out the relationships that I had built during that dream job. We are also having a family member who was not doing well and ultimately passed away. So our family and our emotional state, my emotional state, was not where it needed to be. So I couldn't afford to stop because I had a family to feed, but I wasn't mentally all there. I started to make some mistakes. Big mistake I made, lowering my prices, thinking more clients were going to come in, right? And I had always coached people to raise their prices, not to lower their prices. But, in my weakened emotional state, that's what I did. I hope none of you are doing that, but that's what I did. And then being a former, marketing director, I'm like, oh, I know what I'll do. I'll take money I can't afford to spend and can't afford to lose, and I'm going to spend it on an advertising campaign because I know what I'm doing. And I lost it all. And it got so bad where there was literally nothing left. I was not going to make it another 30 days. And this is where I reflected on my time as marketing director of that company, where we were doing $20 million in annual sales, 40% of which came from affiliates. And what's interesting about that is if you look at the other 60%, it was a mix of everything else. So by far our biggest channel, our new clients all lived on other people's lists. So what I did was I knew I had a great offer. I knew I had a great presentation. So I scheduled a webinar, but I knew I needed help filling it. So what I did was I made a list of 10 people that I already knew that had lists of people that they were serving a similar type of person. They were not direct competitors, but we were very collaborative and complementary to one another. I knew that their list was very representative of the type of people I served. So I reached out to those 10 people. I found one of them that was willing to promote me, and he agreed to send out 3 emails to promote that webinar. If you come to my webinar, I will tell you the longer story of this, but the short story is he sent out those 3 emails. We registered just under 100 people in that webinar. About 33% of them showed up, and I made 9 sales of a $4,000 coaching program at a time where I was at practically zero. And a very important lesson was learned during all of that. Number 1 is sometimes all it takes is one. All it takes sometimes is one affiliate who says, yes, I will promote you. And then you show up and you do the rest. You host the event, you present, you serve the clients, and then you share the revenue. I paid him a 40% commission. So $14,000 went to him, $22,000 went to me at a time where my bank account was let's just say less than $100. All right. It was not pretty. So, and sometimes all it takes is one. And so what I want to share with you is that this is an opportunity that is available to all of you. And at any time, there are 3 types of affiliates who can fill your program. The first type of affiliate is what we call a JV partner or a collaborator. You're witnessing some of that today. The panelists here are a form of JV partner for Kim, and we all agreed to be part of this event, collaborate on its content, but also collaborate on its promotion. And here you are. One of us invited you here, right? And that's why you're here today. And so you can find people who have your list, and you can co-host a webinar, or you could promote each other. I promote you, you promote me. There's lots of different ways to structure a JV or a collaborative campaign. That's the first type. The second type is an influencer. And an influencer, they don't care about you promoting them. They care about monetization of their list. They're looking for opportunities. So you offer them a commission. That's what an affiliate program is. You pay a percentage of what you bring in to whoever promotes you. So these are newsletters, they're podcast hosts, they're YouTube channel hosts. They have Facebook communities. They have large email lists. Maybe they have another coaching program that's very complementary to yours, and they're looking for another way to earn extra income with that list. Whatever it is, they're just looking for monetization. So that's the second type, influencer. And the third type, my favorite, ambassador. I like to turn my clients into ambassadors by giving them an opportunity to share my next webinar, to share my program. And every month or every week, actually, in my group program, I simply do this. I say, who do you know that should be in this program right now? Please invite them to my next webinar. And if they sign up, I'm going to pay you a commission. And then I give them a choice. I say, you can either take the money or I will double it and you can apply that to one of my other programs. And so nobody works harder than my ambassadors. Highly overlooked by most programs because it's like, well, that's just one person. They can only invite two. But times that by 100, it adds up, right? When you have people in your program and they each invite two people, it's a very powerful thing to do. It's something you implement and then you grow over time. Pretty soon you won't need JVs or influencers anymore because you'll have so many people in your community promoting you that that's enough to never again worry about where your next client is coming from. So I think that's my time. Again, those three affiliate types, joint venture partners, influencers, and ambassadors. And if you would like to learn more, come and attend a 90-minute training with me. I do it every month. I happen to have one tomorrow, which I'll drop the link for in a moment. And Kim, I don't think you have the link, so I'll drop the link to that when the next speaker comes up. But tomorrow, I have a 90-minute training coming up. In fact, I will just do this. I'll just drop the link. And if somebody could just click the link and say, yep, got it, whatever it is that we know that's, and then I'll put the details here in a moment. Come and join me for 90 minutes. I'll show you A to Z what you need to do to start getting these affiliates and how to use AI to make it even faster, easier, better than ever before. So how was that, Kim? Am I exactly on time? I think that was 10 minutes.
Yeah, I was doing too many things in the chat to even be paying attention to time, but hey, give Chuck some love in the chat if you thought that was amazing and you learned something new today about affiliates, using affiliates to grow your business. And my question is, drop in the chat, which one of those three types of affiliates would you like to have in your business, promoting your business, right? Because that sounded pretty amazing to me. And I'm excited to be doing this with you, Chuck. So thank you so much for sharing more of this information to the audience. I also have, I think this does go to the right link for Chuck's free gift. You can click on that link to get his training on how to use affiliates to sell your products and fill your events. Kathleen says she loves the ambassador idea. I do, right? Having a little army of your own ambassadors who've worked with you before. What better way to get people to share the love is help share the love back to them. And all three, David wants, and Eric, of course, absolutely. I would love all three of them too, and working on that as we speak. So I love that presentation, Chuck. Thank you so much. And of course, I'm a big believer in what you do. I've watched you do it with so many other people. So that's amazing. So you do not want to miss Chuck's training. Get registered. Even if you can't make the next one, click on that link, put in your information, get on his list. So if you can't make this one, you will be notified of when the next one is going to happen, right? So, all right, let's keep this show on the road. Great, 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 great. Our next expert speaker today is Steve Gaston. He is a #1 Amazon best-selling author. He's hailing all the way from Scotland today to be present in this room. So if that's not amazing enough as it is, Steve is known as the catalyst for success. He's a #1 Amazon best-selling author of The Acceleration Catalyst and founder of several successful businesses, including the Masterclass Sessions, Go Connections, and HeadSmart Global Agency. He specializes in empowering entrepreneurs through personalized business growth strategies with a focus on building relationships. He is a master relationship builder from what I see, and he helps his clients overcome obstacles to achieve sustainable success and position themselves as a visible authority in their space. So welcome to the stage, Steve. I'm so happy to have you here today.
No, it's absolutely fantastic to be here, Kimberly. And before we get into things, Chuck, absolutely fantastic. When you talk about those three ways of affiliates, the ambassador part I use as well, the JV stuff, for those you don't know, the masterclass sessions is also tomorrow. And we've got an absolute phenomenal speaker tomorrow because she said, I'll do yours if you do mine, because tomorrow Kimberly Day is doing the masterclass sessions for me and in our part of the pond. So it shows how when you are building relationships and you are doing so many great things, you're right, Chuck. The JVs work, the affiliate programs work, the ambassador programs work, and it'll be great. We'll talk about masterclass sessions later. But when Kimberly asked me to come and says, "Well, what do you want to talk about?" I says, "Well, what do you want me to do?" She says, "Well, pick something." We talk about authority and becoming an authority, and I've been very fortunate when I was speaking earlier on. I've had a great life. I would do it all again. I retired at 30, got bored at 32. I'm now 58. And I'm still doing what I want to do, which I love, helping business owners and people get better. And when business owners and people get better and understand that business can actually be easy if they choose, but it's not all easy. You have to do certain things. And Kimberly said, "Well, can you talk about this building authority?" And I said, "Right, okay, it's fine. I've written a trilogy. The first book of the trilogy came out a couple of months ago, as Kimberly said, Acceleration Catalyst. Scaling Catalyst is coming out in October, and then the Legacy Catalyst comes out in February of next year. So the part of what I'm talking about today is the authority building and looking at the architect and authority and using that for generational wealth. Because when we look at authority, we're talking not just about just your business in general, because let's just start with the brutal truth about business, because growth is never an accident. It's a chemical reaction. And when you look around your industries today, you'll notice that most service providers are exhausted. You'll see so many people saying, "Oh, there's the fear factor." But most of them are working all the hours in the weeks. Some people I'm helping just now are doing 80-hour weeks. Crazy. They're fielding clients' texts on Sunday morning. They're competing in a race to the bottom on price. Because they haven't built themselves they've created themselves a job as such. I call it the highly paid prison, and that's actually called the generalist trap. And today, hopefully, in the next 10 minutes, I'm going to dismantle that trap, and I'm going to share the core architecture from the series of my books, The Catalyst Blueprint. And we'll look at how to position yourself as an undeniable authority, scale without breaking, and ultimately turn your active income into a sellable multi-million-pound asset. Chuck, you were asking that earlier on. How have I done it? This is roughly the breakdown of how you can actually take what you had and sell it for multi-million pounds. So let's begin. If you want to command premium prices, you have to understand how the buyer's brain actually works. The human brain is an energy conservation machine, and when you pitch yourself as a full-service generalist who can do everything for everyone, you've just overwhelmed your prospect. You trigger choice paralysis, and when buyers are overwhelmed, they default to the easiest metric of comparison. Well, what do you think that is? Yes, price. To step out of that commodity market, you must execute a superpower shift. And you do not sell your time. You have to sell the eradication of a specific nightmare, which I call the 3 a.m. ghost, for a highly specific micro niche. And in the first book, The Acceleration Catalyst, I work on building your only statement. It replaces your boring job title. It sounds like I am the only mechanism that helps micro niche achieve desire without contrarian view. And when you become a category of one, you stop demanding that the market calculates your worth. You start to trigger the deepest neurological instincts of trust, safety, and resolution. You stop being a vendor and you become the catalyst. Because once you establish that authority, something dangerous happens. Demands spike. If your business model relies on one-to-one sales calls or bespoke hourly delivery, you hit the wall. Your diary will fill up and your revenue will flatline because you literally have no hours left in the day. We have to shatter that one-to-one model and step into a one-to-many stage when possible. And when you sit across from someone on a Zoom call, you're a peer. When you stand at the front of a room, or a host, or a virtual masterclass, the human brain instantly categorizes you as an authority figure. It's called the halo effect. The power dynamic inverts completely. They stop interrogating you and they start taking notes from you. Who started taking notes already just now? Because I did when Chuck was on. Yeah. Your brain can't help yourself. By leveraging masterclasses and virtual events, you spend 60 minutes pitching to, as Chuck said, 50, 100, 1,000 people, instead of spending 100 hours pitching to individuals. You stop selling your time to find money, and you start to leverage the stage to print money. But generating the cash is only phase one. In book 2, when you start using that authority, the scaling catalyst, we confront the next boss, which is the capacity crisis. You escape the sales hustle, but now you're drowning in fulfillment. If every new client requires you to start from a blank piece of paper, you don't have a business. You have a hobby, and it's just another word for unscalable. Bespoke. Who uses the word bespoke a lot in their terminology? Bespoke is unscalable because it's bespoke. You must decouple your personal time from your delivery of the results. And we do this by building this hybrid architecture. We extract your genius from your brain using strict binary standard operating procedures, SOPs. And we transition your clients from one-to-one hand-holding into leverage elite group consulting. Look at this today. We've got an elite group of people here today, all wanting to learn from great industry experts. Some of them have been in my masterclass sessions already, and I'm feeling really nervous because they are fantastic. Your clients don't want 60 minutes of your time every Tuesday. They want the fastest, most certain path to their results. And when you put them in an elite group setting, you activate the country club effect. The peer pressure accelerates the results, and you buy back 30 hours of your week. To manage this new machine, you cannot rely on cheap virtual assistants. V8s are great for flawless systems, but if your business is still chaotic, a VA will just become a highly demanding boss who will ask you questions all day. Who said VAs are like that? I know Blaney's probably had a few VAs like that in the past. They ask you 10 million questions and spend all day with them. You don't need an assistant. You need an integrator. You need an elite operator. Entrepreneurs are visionaries. We crave the dopamine of the new ideas on the stage. Elite operators crave the serotonin to order structure and completion. You live in the clouds, dreaming up the hundreds of thousands of pounds worth of initiatives. They live in the dirt, building the roads to get you there. So when you hire an operator who owns outcomes instead of just following tasks, you've now transitioned from an overworked consultant into the true CEO that you deserve to be. Let's look at the next part, and I call this the golden handcuffs and the valuation paradox. Now, you have a 7-figure machine that runs itself. You're rich. But as we explore in book 3, which is a legacy catalyst, you've just built a velvet-lined set of golden handcuffs. Because if you want to sell your business for £10 or £20 or dollars or $50 million, you face a valuation paradox. Private equity firms do not buy advice. They definitely do not buy your face. They definitely wouldn't buy this one. And if your brand relies on your personal charisma to generate leads and close deals, your company is technically worthless to a buyer because it dies the day you leave. Buyers don't care about your ego. They care about transferable predictability. You have to actively destroy your own importance in the company. I tell everybody, and people that know me, I don't do anything. I have great people that do everything for me because it's true. I can go away on holidays. I can go away and do absolutely nothing. My businesses are still doing what they do. And to command a 7 times or a 10 times multiplier on your business at exit, we need to execute 2 final procedures. First one, the figurehead extraction. You're going to clinically remove your face and name from the marketing engine, and you transition your market's trust from your personality to your system. The second is called the IP moat. You cannot sell a Word document of good advice. You must turn your methodology into a visual name trademarked architecture. I know Eric Lofholm's done all that already. You know, very clever. When you slide a legally protected proprietary framework across the boardroom table, you trigger the concreteness effect because you've now handed the buyer a tangible asset. It's not your face. It is not you. And this is how you trick the M&A market into giving a service-based business a software valuation-based business price tag. It's such an easy transition when you have everything in place. A multi-million-pound exit is not an event. It's a meticulously engineered project. So here are your next steps to start that transition today or in the future. Take note of this, because if you're getting close to that, or if you're on a goal set to get to that in the next 5 or 10 years, or you're wanting to be that your legacy exit, the first thing you have to do is audit your position. You have to look at your current messaging. Are you competing now as a generalist, or are you claiming that you are the only statement, the only person doing this to help this type of person for this sort of result? Number 2, extract your IP. Stop selling your time or your consulting. Name your mechanism, draw it as a framework, and start selling the system. Number 3, decouple delivery. Identify one repetitive thing you do for every single client, record a video how you do it, and build your first unbreakable SOP so someone else can execute it tomorrow. So to wrap things up, authority isn't claimed, it is demonstrated. It is built on a structured framework, not random acts of networking. And if you're ready to make the transition from that exhausted operator or a sovereign chairman, the entire roadmap is going to be in my Catalyst Blueprint trilogy. Thanks for your time, your attention, and your commitment to building a legacy. I'm Steve Gaston from the Masterclass Sessions, HeadSmart Global Agency, and several other businesses globally. And hopefully that's helped you a little bit on how you can look at yourself and how you can take where you are to becoming that authoritative figure in your category or niche today.
Oh my
Thanks,
God.
everyone.
Thank you, Steve. Show some love for Steve in the chat. Who doesn't want to become a category of one? I know. I mean, there were so many golden nuggets in there. Like you always give away the golden nuggets, Steve, right? Uncoupling delivery. How about becoming a specialist, not a generalist? All of those good things. And if you want to learn more from Steve, you definitely need to download his free gift, which gets you on his emailing list, right? So if you want some of those resources, you want to learn more from Steve, that is the way to do it. Can somebody check on that link? Make sure that link works and you can get your golden tickets to his masterclass sessions, and let me know in the chat.
And remember, Masterclass session, tomorrow's session is with Kimberly. You're getting a little bit of Kimberly today. Tomorrow, you're getting a 1 hour plus.
A little bit more
of Kimberly tomorrow. It's free if you click that golden ticket link. And we might even give you next month's Masterclass session free as well.
Ooh, a bonus. So next month's too. That's amazing, Steve. Thank you so much. Always a wealth of information. I love that. And I don't know, like it wasn't even planned. But have you ever noticed that the universe just conspires to bring the right people into the room? Because, you know, Chuck talked about having people working for you and bringing people to your events and, of course, hosting events, right? To be that credible expert at the front of the room. Steve just talked about it too. And you know that in North America, this is actually a fact, right? We're conditioned. It's psychological, by the way. This is not just Steve saying this. This is science. Because we grew up, if you're from Canada or the US, I don't know what it is like in Scotland. Maybe you can attest this or not, Steve, but we're taught here to do what? To go to school, right? So we can get a good education. And who do we sit in class and listen to? The teacher at the front of the room, who is the expert and authority that we're taught to listen to, right? And what did they teach out of? A textbook. So imagine now you at the front of the room at the stage, teaching and training from a book that you wrote. Now you are psychologically immediately the expert and the authority in your space just from that. And people you didn't even have to tell them you're the expert. It's psychological. It's because we grew up learning this. Steve also talked about one-to-many selling. And our next guest expert is no stranger to this. In fact, he is the master of group selling. He hosts hundreds of group events every day, every month. He is a beast when it comes to putting on group training and showing and demonstrating and leading by example on how to close sales from the front of a room in a group format. So welcome to the stage, Eric Lofholm, who is an internationally recognized sales trainer. He's a speaker, a best-selling author, over 20 years experience helping entrepreneurs and sales professionals grow their income and impact. He's trained thousands worldwide on sales, marketing, business development. He's known for simplifying the sales process into practical, actionable strategies. He's worked with the big guys like Tony Robbins. I am so excited to have him presenting to you today. Welcome to the stage, Eric Lofholm.
Kimberly, thank you so much. It's great to be with you and with all of you today. Thank you all for showing up today. And I'm going to share a couple of ideas. And even though I'm only here for, each speaker just has, 10 to 12 minutes, but I want to see if I can create transformation in you as it relates to creating clients. And I have a goal for Q3 of 121 clients. And so the takeaway for you from me stating that is for you to have a goal for Q3, or for you to have a goal for August, and be clear on what you want to create. A lot of people want more clients, but they don't have a clear goal. So that's my first tip for you. My next tip is one of my sayings is create revenue now. And there's an energy to this around being the idea of creating revenue now. And so I followed up with a gentleman named Bob this morning, and I thought it'd be good just to show you what the communication was so you can learn from this. So Bob's somebody who, he's in my pipeline. Pipeline is defined as you started a sales process. They haven't said yes, they haven't said no. So I followed up with Bob yesterday, and this is the message. Texted him, "Hey Bob, are you in?" And then you see he ghosted me. He didn't respond. So I messaged him again today. And I said, "Hey, are you in?" And the reason I messaged him again today, even though he ghosted me yesterday, is that if you're wanting to create clients, that's what you do, right? If I don't have a goal of 121 clients, and there's no magic in that goal. But if I'm not looking to create revenue now, if I'm not looking to create clients now, I'm probably not on top of my pipeline. And I'm probably not following up even though he ghosted me. And some of you might feel like, oh, well, if I reach out when they ghosted me, I'm bothering them, right? And that's okay. There's nothing wrong with that mindset. It's just not the mindset of creating clients now. The next idea I want to share with you is about finishing August in writing. And this has to do with either revenue or clients. So I'm going to show you something that I very rarely would share with somebody, especially on a group call like this, because it's just kind of my personal business. But I decided to share with you to help you learn from it. So there's one thing about like training and like teaching you techniques and, do this and do that. But there's another thing about just showing you, like showing you what am I actually doing, and seeing if you can learn from what I'm showing you. So what this is here, this is an Excel spreadsheet, and it's mapping my revenue for the month of August. So 18,000 here means I'm projected to generate $18,000 in new revenue for August. 2,000 is connecting with a product of the month special that I'm going to offer. This 30,000 number here is from revenue that I've already sold. So I have clients on retainer, I have clients on payment plans. And so all that retainer and payment plan revenue adds up to 30 grand with a projected collected revenue of 50,000 for next month. And I do this every month. And sometimes I do it up to 6 months in advance. So I want you to think about, August is Saturday. So have you mapped out your revenue for August? Like right now, could you show me whatever your version of this is, right? And some of you may never have thought of this before. No one's ever showed you something like what I'm showing you here. And what I can tell you is it's really powerful, because now I have a goal and it's written down, and I have optimism for what my month is going to look like. So a little bit about me and what I've been up to since 1992. So I live in the sales world. Like, this is what I do all day, every day. I'm either teaching sales, like what we're doing right now. I'm selling, I'm prospecting, I'm booking appointments, I'm booking speeches, I'm doing social media posts to drive revenue. So this is like what I'm all about. And if that's something that you're interested in, then you might consider connecting with me, and we'll share with you some ways you can connect with me. And what I like having happen for clients is having that energy rub off on them. Just like I used to work for Tony Robbins. And when I worked for Tony Robbins, that's me on the right there with Tony back in the 90s. And Tony, as you can imagine, is every bit as intense as you would think he would be, and every bit as focused, and every bit, goal setting, and so I learned a lot from Tony Robbins, being in his company, being in his energy, and it shifted my action muscles, among other things. And so that's really what I have to contribute to people if they're wanting to learn how to create more clients. So this photo over on the left, the photo is Richard Bandler. Some of you know that name, co-founder of NLP. Richard Bandler's changed the world. The photo in the center is me with my mentor, Donald Moyne. Donald Moyne was a student with Richard Bandler at UC Santa Cruz when neuro-linguistic programming was created. And then Donald Moyne took NLP and applied it to selling. And he taught it to me, what he learned in his NLP concepts back. This is going back. Moyne and I have been working together since 1994. And I started off as his client, and then he became my peer. And more recently, we're co-authors on a book that we released in the last 12 months. Tony Robbins credits Richard Bandler for the foundation of Tony Robbins' work was based on Richard Bandler and NLP. So there's a lot of history in the foundation of the ideas that we're talking about today as far as what I'm contributing. So a couple of things that you can model from what I do in addition to what I already taught you. So right now, Kimberly announced at the beginning of our Zoom that this is a new monthly group Zoom that she's doing. So I'm a big believer in doing monthly group Zooms, and I regularly do them as well. And I think Chuck invited you to one, and then Steve invited you to one. And so your other experts on here is something that many of us do, if not all of us. But what about you? So like Kim, who's on our call today, there's Kimberly, and then there's Kim Wendy, who's an expert working with owners of animals. She's brilliant at helping them get better results from their relationship with their pet and their horses and so forth. And so I actually advised Kim on this morning with a text. And I said to her, I would advise you to do a monthly group Zoom. And you can set up a monthly group Zoom. I'm going to show you guys something about Zoom. So if we go into my Zoom back office, and maybe you don't know how to set up a landing page, right? And how do I get my CRM and the Zoom, like what Kimberly put together here? Like, how do you do that? There's a bunch of parts to that, but watch this. I go schedule. I'm in my Zoom back office, just like what many of you have. And so Kim is going to do improve your relationship with your horse. And she's going to do it this Saturday morning at 11 a.m. for an hour. And then you click mark the require registration and you hit save. And this link is now live. Now, I'm going to put the link in the chat. This does not put you into my system. So nothing will happen if you choose to opt in for this, but it might be interesting for you to opt in and just watch what happens. All right. So if any of you want to do that, I'll show you what happens here. So we're in my Zoom back office. Again, you're not opting into my list right now. I'm just teaching you something. So you're going to go to registration here. And if any of you register, you'll see this number increase. In other words, Kim could do a once a month group Zoom without having it connect to a Go High Level or similar. She doesn't need to hire a tech person. And now she can invite on a daily basis. She can post on social media about it. She can email about it. And she can go out and she can grow her business. And it's a way to get her into action, creating clients now. So this whole idea of create revenue now, it's a different way of thinking. And this is the world that I live in. And I'm interested in doing this for myself, and I'm interested in doing this for my clients, and I'm interested in teaching it to all of you right now, because as you learn these things, you'll have them for the rest of your life. And I've got 2 more insights to share with you, and then I'll wrap up my portion. So a best practice would be for you to build an email list and email your list 1 to 10 times a month. Some of you have an email list, maybe you're not emailing it. Some of you don't have an email list. I used to not have an email list, and now I have one with a little over 10,000 emails on it. And I saw the value in building the list. So you've heard this before, that's nothing new, but it's not about intellectually knowing it, it's about action. It's about the implementation of these ideas. And I encourage you to take, 1 to 5 ideas that you learned from the various speakers today and focus and concentrate on taking action. And then the last idea I have to share with you is to embrace and learn sales. And in our entrepreneurial journeys, you might have gotten started having no interest in selling. You just want to help people. You just want to do whatever it is that you do. And then you come to this realization, darn it, I have to do sales. And so I invite you to embrace that journey and learn sales. And then once you learn selling, you're more effective in all of your communication, your social media, your group selling, your one-on-one consults, your social media, your email marketing, etc. And so Kimberly's going to drop my free thing in the chat. And I also want to encourage you to connect with me on social media. I'm on all the platforms. And if any of you would like to have a call with me, if what I said resonated, if you're like, Eric, I could really use your help, that's my cell phone. Feel free to shoot me a text. I'd be happy to just get on a call and hear what you're up to and hear where you might be stuck or you're having any challenges and help you to the best of my ability. And then Kimberly's got some, I don't even remember exactly what it is, but something free in the chat. So she'll drop that in the chat. And Kimberly, with that, I'm going to turn it back over to you.
Awesome, awesome, awesome. Gives Eric some love in the chat. Eric's amazing. He's so generous with his time, with his resources. Like, I wasn't kidding when I talked about, like, he's probably got 3 or 4 training calls on his calendar every day for people, not only free training, but for his paid client community. So he is absolutely there to help you succeed in any way that he can with when it comes to your sales and your mindset about sales, right? I love the fact that you came out of the Tony Robbins, industry or era or whatever, because that's really what it is. It's not just necessarily about taking all the actions. It's really about the belief that you have in yourself, in your value, in the stuff that you present. And Eric really embodies that. So he's got a free gift inside the chat right here. His book, The System, one of the first books he's written. He's got so many. Get on that list, because of course you'll not only get the book, but you'll be now inside of Eric's world, where you can get more invitations to some of the trainings and the amazing stuff that he's doing inside of his community. So definitely a hip hop happening place to be. Thank you so much, Eric, for all your fabulous nuggets. And as you can see, he was not kidding about the group Zooms, right? He does group Zooms. Steve does group Zooms. I do group Zooms. So does Chuck. We know Susan does, and she's up next. So success leaves clues. So take that big, huge hint, people, and think about how you could be including some group training potentially inside of your business, because you can create a community and a place where people want to gather as well. You have valuable information to provide, right? And it's when you bring people into community, when you create those connections. Connection is what equals currency. And making lots of offers, right, Eric? Always asking for the business. So I'm excited to bring up our next speaker. No stranger to hosting group events, that is for sure. Susan 𝐤𝐬 is the co-founder of the Grand Connection Networking Group. She has a podcast of the same name. She is the president of the New Earth marketing group, where she has been basically doing marketing since her days as a lemonade stand owner as a child. So she says 25 years of experience. We know it's way longer than that. She helps entrepreneurs grow their networks, build strategic partnerships, and increase their visibility through the Grand Connections thriving business ecosystem and networking, which is designed for purpose-driven and heart-centered entrepreneurs. Susan, I'm so excited to welcome you to the stage today.
Oh, thank you, Kim. And every time that intro comes with the lemonade stand, I get thirsty. Who's thirsty? Doesn't it just trigger something? Yes, fresh lemonade. Well, I'm thrilled to be here today. Kim, this is your first event. Congratulations on doing this. And I know this is a collaboration in action, folks. This is what happens in our community at the Grand Connection. Everybody here today, it just worked out, is a Grand Connection member. And I feel like I've just come home to my own family. The green room, I couldn't even talk about like Kim talk. I was just like, catching up. Chuck is here. He's helping support Kim with his new tool and teaching him. And I call this an integrated partnership, really. And when you have stuff where you're sharing value to each other's communities and audiences, and then you're also being able to share audiences and share value and share resources and become each other's clients. Like, this is what's happening here. So Chuck's working with Kim. Chuck's speaking on her stage. Kim is having Chuck on her stage. Like, I know that Kim's going to be on Chuck's stage. Kim's going to be on Steve's stage. Kim is on my stage. Eric's been on my stage. Blaney's been on my stage. You guys have all been on my stage, and I've partnered with all of you, and I love you all so much. So I'm just thrilled that this is your founding event with all of us here. And I also see that you've made a journey of this. Chuck has talking about the affiliates. Steve, you're building authority to reach those larger audiences. Eric, you got the sales happening, which is something we all need to totally think about. Blaney and Kim, who've had powerful grand collaborations themselves through the Grand Connection, running that book writing retreat, is an example of a perfect collaboration. And we learn from each other. Now, what I'm going to talk about today is how my process at the Grand Connection that allows you to turn networking into one of your most profitable marketing strategy. And as the owner of a marketing agency of Kim Applied a lot of years, I've been around since before the internet. I used Letraset back in the days, if anybody knows what that is. And I have found by far, after trying just about every marketing channel possible, that networking is, and followed with proper collaboration, is the very best way to get reoccurring revenue. I've the hamster wheel many times in my life. My daughter has nibbles, so it always reminds me when I think about her of, I felt that connection with her, running on her wheel, thinking, I'm just doing all this marketing and nothing's consistent. And once I built up a power team of people around me and collaboration partners and people that I could just call on a dime to be able to come and help me, support me to reach new audiences and partner and come up with a new idea or get a resource, it just changed the way I manage my life. And, I get to go to a place I can hopefully come and visit you, Blaney, at your retreat center. And I'm going to come and see you, Steve, and be able to travel and do the things you want, because we all want that freedom and we want to have that consistent revenue. And my framework is connect, create, collaborate. That's what you see everywhere at the Grand Connection. It's all over the place. And it's what I live by. Everything starts with connect. You start with connecting intentionally. Networking begins long before you walk in the room. So you're intentional about who is your right fit audience, which communities do they belong to, who already serves or influences them, and having that networking plan, not just a calendar full of events. And that's one of the things we do at my Grand Plan Accelerator, which is part of the gift that you'll be getting later. And you can get that plan and be strategic about the way you connect. And the second part of connect is becoming referral ready. People can't refer you if they don't understand you. Ask yourself, who do I help? What problem do I solve? What transformation do I create? What's the result people care about? One of the biggest mistakes entrepreneurs make is talking about what they do instead of problems they solve. They also talk too much. Remember that. That rambling, it's a neuroscience thing. We're doing it in our self-mastery program. People disconnect. And it's not on purpose. It's just the way your brain works. So try to think short and concise and being memorable. So, for example, are you tired of, we want to think about those struggles, right? So are you tired of inconsistent leads? Do you feel invisible, even though you're great at what you do? Are you networking but not seeing real business results? When people hear a problem they recognize, they immediately think of someone who needs your help. Remember, people don't refer what you do, they refer the problem you solve. So the next part of my framework, Connect, Create, is create. And create is about creating trust, creating relationships, creating opportunity. It builds. I see it as a ladder. The people here on the stage today, I've built relationships with them all. We've shown up for each other. We've supported each other. There's many a times last minute, Kim and Blaney, you guys have sent stuff out to your list when I was going, numbers are low, help me. Steve, you too, you've done that as well. And Eric, oh my gosh, he's been an amazing collaboration partner over the years. And this is what happens is you're creating those trust and those relationships, and community helps you create that. You become part of a community and immediately you have similar values. You start getting connections throughout the community, and people in the community are there to support you and know where you are on your journey and can help you get to that next stage. And at the Grand Connection, we have a simple philosophy: value first, sales second. So instead of asking, how can I sell to this person? Because you know what happens when somebody comes to pitch to you right away and they're selling, it's too early in that trust relationship. You back away, right? So remember that how you feel is also how others will feel when they first meet you. So when you're thinking about how you can sell to the person, ask instead, how can I help? How can I introduce you to someone? What resource could I share? How can I create value? One of our core values at the Grand Connection is being a grand giver. But being a grand giver doesn't mean saying yes to everything. It doesn't mean overgiving. It doesn't mean making yourself so tired that you never get any sleep. It means giving intentionally. and staying grounded and staying balanced in what you do. So you give from your strengths and not from your obligations. There's a book by Adam Grant, Give and Take. And in that book, the givers are the least successful, but the givers are also the most successful, which means that the most successful people aren't the ones who give endlessly. They're the people who give wisely with healthy boundaries, creating value that benefits everyone. So remember to give from your strengths and not from your reserves. And the last part of my framework is collaborate. That's what I love. That's what we're here today doing. We're collaborating. This is where relationships become opportunities. Instead of asking, can you send me clients? Ask, what could we create together? This might look like podcast interviews, joint webinars, referral partnerships, affiliates, speaking opportunities, community projects, co-created offers, new businesses together. Collaboration creates opportunities that neither person could create alone. Collaboration allows you to leverage the people around you for skills, for resources, for audience, and for most importantly, more value for the audiences you all serve. So this has been a journey, Kim, and I know there's still more to come, but you have woven everything, as you always do, really well together. The 6 takeaways I want you to take from my part of this section is know your right fit audience, make yourself easy to understand, remember, and refer. Always lead with value. By this, I mean practice intentional generosity, give with purpose, stay grounded, focus on creating mutual value. The 4th is look for opportunities to collaborate. So that is what could we create together? Number 5, showcase your results. And number 6, build systems that support relationships. And that's what we do in our Grand Plan Lab, which is your free gift. And we're going to learn all about the systems you can have in place to make sure that collaborations work efficiently for you. Not sure the time, Kim, but I think this is a good end. Thank you, everybody, for being here. Remember, it's one conversation, one introduction, one collaboration, and connect, create, collaborate.
Awesome, awesome, awesome. Thank you so much, Susan. Give some love to Susan in the chat. I've just dropped her free gift. Susan, I don't know that the accelerator is in that link.
The accelerator is this month. And
so if you want to drop a link to that, or do they just use the guest pass to get to it?
Yeah, use the guest pass and then pick that as one of the 3 events that you can use with your guest pass.
Awesome.
And Grand Connection members, I see a lot of you here today. You know, just come to it. Once a month.
That's
Yay.
So awesome. Yeah, and if you are not a part of the Grand Connection, you definitely want to grab and click on that guest pass. You get 3 free passes to try out different events. There are mixers. Steve Gaston's community has been at the mixer. So has Eric Lofholm's. There are more intimate groups, like the Grand Author Group is the group that I host. But there's a podcast group, a speakers group, a tech group, a marketing group. There are groups there for whatever you would like more deep dive information on. And Susan just has fostered such an amazing place for people to come to truly connect, create, and collaborate, which is a perfect segue for our last but not least speaker of the day today, Ms. Blaney Teal, who I had the pleasure of collaborating with at her retreat space. I held my very first Write Your Book at the Beach retreat in beautiful Mexico, Ixcalac, Mexico, at Blaney's Retreat Center. And she's going to share today a little bit about how you can create an experience for your customers. And she is not only a retreat business strategist and property owner, but she has been in business almost as long as Susan. She helps other coaches, course consultants, authors, and service-based business owners transform their expertise into profitable businesses. She ran a very successful live networking and Zoom networking community called MBX. And she is a published author. She also is known as the frugal techie. So she helps you with tech challenges. So I'm super excited to have her here to share her knowledge with you. Welcome to the stage, Blaney.
Thank you, Kim. Thank you so much. And, I love what Susan said. All of us have been together collaborating. Steve and I do things together, Kim and I, Susan and I. Oh my gosh. So anyway, today we're going to kind of shift gears a little bit. I'm going to give you a little bit of an idea of how you can use a retreat for marketing your business. And this is really going to be interesting. And because as Susan, I believe, Kim, that is how we met, through the Grand Connections. And even though I own my own networking group since 2017, just like Steve has his own, we still participate in other groups. And so therefore, I would have never met Kimberly Day if I was not a member and one of the founding members with Susan. So happy that all of this comes full circle. And today we're going to talk about, I'm going to share some slides because I do seem to go on tangents and I do sometimes talk really fast. So I'm going to stick to my slides here. So you guys cannot see my slides apparently, right? You're on the wrong ones, aren't we? Let's stop sharing that and let's share the right one. I don't know what happened there. I want to share my keynote with you guys. So tell me, yes, you should be able to see that, right? Yes. Okay, great. So we're going to talk about a retreat. Now, some of you may have never, ever even thought that a retreat was something that you wanted. You may have never even dreamed that a retreat is something that you needed. And can you guys tell me, am I sharing my screen? I'm so sorry, but it's doing all kind of weird stuff on my end.
Yes,
yeah, okay, good. I don't care. As long as you guys can see it, yep. It's telling me all kind of weird stuff. It's saying, upgrade this, do that. So,
nope, you're good, honey. You're good.
Awesome. So that's okay. So please listen for the next 10 minutes or so. Even if you have never wanted to do a retreat, I'm going to hopefully change your mind on why you might want to build a retreat into your business, because it can change not only your business, but everybody else's businesses too. So maybe you had a dream though. So maybe put in the chat, 1, if you have a dream that someday you want to have a retreat. Put a 2 in the chat though, if maybe you're really overwhelmed with the process, that you're nervous about the process, that you're scared about the process because you might lose money. Nobody might show up. Or maybe you can't pull it off because you don't even know where to start, right? So that is the normal process. I think that most potential retreat hosts go through at some point. And I'm here to tell you that now that you've met me, I'm going to make your life so much easier. That I'm going to make your first retreat something that you can actually achieve sooner than later. So thanks to Kimberly Day. Kimberly hosted her very first Write Your Book at the Beach retreat here, and she twisted my arm to write my book. Literally, I was running the resort, so I was taking care of breakfast, lunch, dinner, the pool parties, and all the other fun stuff we were doing. But she forced me to sit down and write this book, and I didn't really even know that I had it in me. I just knew that my property here was just destined for something bigger than a hotel, something bigger than an Airbnb. And so she helped me write this book. It became a 3-time Amazon bestseller. And Kimberly, I get sales every day from this book, hard copies around the flipping world. I'm getting another payment. I didn't write it for that. I wrote it to be something that I could give away on summits and at presentations like we're doing today. But people are buying it. And guess what? They're booking discovery calls with me. And they're looking at my venue. It is the perfect. So if you guys have not gone through anything and worked with Kimberly and getting your book out, now's the time. I'm just putting that plug in there. Someday, Kim, we need to plan a second version of your Write Your Book at the Beach. We need to do this again because it works, and oh my gosh, I just am so, and I love working with first-time hosts because you don't know where to start. You don't know what to do. And most of you have a business stack, right? And you have all these things. You have free content and lead magnets and workshops and webinars and courses and programs and memberships and coaching, and you have the high ticket offer. But here's the best part. A retreat can fit in anywhere. It doesn't have to be at the top of your stack or the bottom of your stack. A retreat can be sidelined to all of your tracks. And that's what's really, really important. It's going to give you business. It's also going to bring you business, and it's going to lead you to new business. And so, wow, right? Don't think a retreat has to be something, when I have 10,000 members in my community, I'm going to host a retreat. No, you do not need to wait until you have a big community. Do you have to have a community? Yes. But if you're doing lead magnets and free communities and you're doing networking, you're going to attract the people. And at my place, we only have 7 rooms. So you're talking 14 people max. You don't think you could find 14 past clients, future clients, friends, family that would want to come and learn from what you have to offer, your expertise? I guarantee you can. And right. So don't feel like you need to have a big community. So I'm going to do this on a very, by the way, that is a picture of my restaurant, which we hold the big meetings, trainings, and dinners in. But I'm just going to do this on a low ballpark for you. So we only can have 14 guests. So I did it on 12 guests and with 2 hosts, right? A host and a helper. If your goal was only to profit $1,000 on your genius per person, that's $12,000 extra in your pocket. Now, you can obviously, you can charge more for your genius. You can charge less for your genius. The first time, a lot of people do make a little less profit because they use their very first retreat as a marketing tool. So you need to get the testimonials. You need to get the pictures. You need to get the group doing all these activities so that your next one can be even better, right? That's really what's important. But that's just on a really small level, guys. Now, you can go rent a big hotel and cruise ship or a bed and breakfast, and you can have 20 or 30 people at your retreat. But most of who I work with, they want small. They want intimate. They want that cohort of just being part of a community. Because Steve said that when you stand up there and you actually get to be in person with someone, it's a totally different feel than the Zooms, even though we love Zooms. I'm not saying anything bad about Zooms. So what happens when you're at these events is you build the trust between your community. So think about it. Before your retreat actually happens, you have about 6 months of online marketing. So you're going to be doing emails and webinars and putting out content and inviting and doing all this great stuff so people get to know, like, and trust you. They may never come to your retreat, but maybe they log into your free lead magnet. Maybe they buy your book. Maybe they get into your community. Maybe they're not ready for a retreat yet. But that 6 months of online marketing is going to serve you in so many different ways around your business. Then that 5 days together, and it can be 6 days or 10 days or 4 days, whatever you decide, you're going to be making amazing breakthroughs, right? Because you're going to be having meals together. You're going to be having margaritas at the pool. You're going to be snorkeling. You're going to be going to the ruins, whatever. Like, it depends. Again, I'm just talking what we do here. But again, you can have this on a cruise ship. You can have this in the mountains. You can have this event anywhere that makes you happy. Because that's what I say. If you don't want to go someplace, if you hate hot, don't go to Mexico. If you hate cold, don't go to the mountains. You know, if you get seasick, don't go on a cruise, right? So you want to plan this event where you're going to get enjoyment from it because you have to be there and you have to be excited about it, right? So these bonds that are going to be made are going to be not only lifelong friends. Kimberly, I mean, I got to know her on such a different level, not to mention how much she helped me in my business. And that was just a side effect. We didn't know that I was going to be writing a book, but that was a side effect. But we do know each other now. We can call each other and we pick up the phone instantly. Like, we don't have to wait and screen the calls from Kimberly Day. Like, I answer her phone call immediately, right? So people are going to be lifelong friends, and people will do business together with people they know, like, and trust. So if you're in a group of women, per se, like at my retreats, a lot of times each of my attendees have a different business. One's a coach, one's health and wellness, one's fitness, one's financial, one might be, who knows, massage therapist. They all have these different businesses. Well, then they all end up working together because they got this great bond. So you came for a retreat, but then you end up going home with business that you didn't expect to get, which is absolutely amazing. Now, again, the retreat is not just one offer. It's actually the centerpiece of your business, right? Because it's a two-way street. Somebody comes in for your free guide, they might attend your retreat. Somebody comes into your retreat, they might want private coaching with you. Somebody might come into your retreat and want to join your mastermind sessions or your networking organization or whatever. And people might come into your mini course and they get to know, like, and trust you in your mini course. And now they're booking to come to a retreat with you. Does that make sense? It really is just a full circle going around the retreat. That's why I said the retreat's not at the top of your stack. It is actually to the side of your stack. Now, again, we're talking about marketing in this masterclass. A retreat is marketing galore because you're going to do these announcements and countdowns and behind the scene contents. And, Kimberly was here and she made videos while we were here so that she could use them in her next one. So now she's going to be dripping those pictures of the people working at the pool. Remember that with the laptops on the valley beds and all of that. Now she can use those and drip them out as part of her pre-launch, right? And of course, registering on her landing page. Now, again, you're taking photos. She had people going live. We had pictures with our, laptops, writing our books, people just working from the hammocks, doing fun stuff. So while you're here, you're going to be getting live photos and video, and you're going to be going live to your social. Hey, we're over here at this resort, doing this retreat, and boom, it's real live. And then live testimonials. That's one of the biggest things I get with my clients, is to make sure that everybody leaves a testimonial on video before they walk away and get back on that bus, back to the airport when life gets back in the way. Get that testimonial. And then after, you're going to be doing some blog posts about the retreat. You're going to be posting success stories about the retreat. You're going to be posting videos and after stuff. So think about how much marketing you just created from doing one retreat. And we're not even talking about the money part of it. We're just talking about the marketing genius behind it. So this is these actually videos are from my retreat that I did last January here. It was called the Sand, Sass, and Self-Love. I'm not going to play the videos, but if you go to retreat.sandsassandselflove.com, that is the landing page for my 2027 retreat that is here, January 8th through the 13th. And everybody is invited. We're still in early bird pricing, but I had them leave their review while they were here. Look, that's my background. Like, that is on my beach. And so I have this little app that does that, and it helps them actually do it. And it goes right up into the cloud. And that way you don't even have to record it on anybody's phone and have the phone fill up, and then you can't get it off the phone. But it's important. Next retreat, now you have these videos to market. You can use these all year round to promote your retreat, right? And they told how amazing the food was and the view was and all the pool was, right? So again, when the retreat ends though, it's not over. Right? Then you're going to talk, and I love it on here. We talk about what can you do? What can you make an offer at the end of your retreat? Kim, you made an offer at the end of your retreat. Everybody should make an offer at the end of the retreat, whether it's so when I did my retreat in January, my offer was, hey, all you ladies here, and actually we had a couple retreats here. My offer is always, I would love to host your retreat here. And that's how I book. They're here with somebody else's retreat. And then they realize, oh my gosh, like I want to do my retreat here. And so they booked from even somebody else's retreat. How cool is that, right? But that's what you want to do. You want to continue making offers to them because maybe now they need private coaching, So, all right, we've got about 1 or 2 minutes left. I will wrap this up. So you'll see that this will compound over time, guys. And like I said, the one retreat will lead to the next one. They'll get easier and easier to fill the more you do it. The first one, we will work together as a strategic partner. I actually just created, Kim, I created a profitable calculator for a retreat host that literally they put in every expense because I've already prompted them what the expenses are going to be. And it will tell them what they should price their retreats for based on the profit they want to make. Then I actually created another little web app that is the Bible for hosting your own retreat. It tracks all your attendees. It tracks deposits, airfare, and everything. So anybody that books here with me, I'm giving that as like a bonus. What hotel can give you that? And it's tailored because I use it for my own retreats. So you need to stop thinking like an event planner, filling the seats, running the event, and then going home. More about a business mindset. You are going to be lifelong clients. You're building authority in your niche. You're going to have ongoing referrals. And of course, you're going to have months of content from the retreat. And then you're going to have lifetime customers and friends. And I think that's where it goes back to friends. A retreat is not an event. It is your flagship client experience. Think about that. What kind of experience do you want your clients to have one-on-one with you? They do a lot of training with you on Zoom, but imagine being one-to-one and holding hands, right? So as I wrap this up, your retreat is your marketing engine. You're going to get revenue, referrals, content, relationships, authority, and transformation. And again, unforgettable experience, building communities, building lifelong clients and businesses that continue to grow. So I want to invite everybody that's here today. I have a first-time retreat host collective. It is especially for those that have never hosted a retreat, but everybody is welcome. It's on Facebook. It's not super active right now. I'm just launching it. So get into it. And we will be starting to put some content in there to help you get excited about hosting your own. You can go to firsttimeretreathostcollective.com, or you can find it on Facebook. And then lastly, I know Kim's going to drop the link in the chat that the copy, a PDF version of my book. So that is your retreat Bible. That will get you thinking, get you excited, and get you planning your first retreat for profit. So you can go to that link and get a free copy of that. You can buy a hard copy, and it is for free for those that have the Kindle like free offer thing. And then lastly, actually I have two just quick things to share. If you have ever thought of hosting a retreat, go to offthegridsretreats.com. That's my website. It goes over pricing for retreats here. It's under $1,000 per person with everything but airfare and alcohol. Let me say that again. You might like your cost to come here for 6 days, 5 nights with transportation, meals, accommodations, under $1,000 per person. Can't beat that, and get a 5-star experience, boutique experience. And for those of you that want a business write-off and want to do some research, I'm going to invite you all right now. And ladies, this is for you. Sorry, guys. Sorry, Steve. Sorry, Chuck. This is for ladies, but you can send your wife, send your girlfriend, send your spouse, whatever. We are doing our Sam Sasson Self-Love, Escape from Civilization second annual retreat here. And you can go to that website. We have massages, we have energy healing, we have a sassy self-love photo shoot, which you're going to just love the photos from that, being outside and beautiful. And we are in early bird. So check that out. I think it's like $14.97 per person for everything but your airfare. So again, you get all amazing opportunities. But here's the best part. While you're here, you can create your own content, so that when you host your retreat here, you have your own videos saying, hey, come to my retreat here. Hey, here I am on the Bali bed. Here I am at the pool. You'll have your own photos. And I actually have a lot of people that come to this that are potential retreat hosts. And then you get to write it off as research. Of course, talk to your accountant first. But it is research for sure, because you got to preview the venue if you can. All right. Thank you guys so much. Thank you, Kim. Thank you guys for listening. Let me stop my share. Maybe it'll bring me back to everybody. Yes, there we are. So again, this has been so much fun. Marketing a retreat is just another strategy to put in your tool belt.
Oh my God. Thank you, Blaney. Is Blaney not a ball of energy? Was this not a great way to end the show and get kind of excited about retreats? So as Blaney said, I have hosted my Write Your Book at the Beach retreat in Mexico. We are planning a second annual where she actually wrote hers while running the entire resort. So, I mean, she's also a beast though, too. She's like the girl version of Eric Lofholm. Like, she does so much stuff. It's unfreaking believable. So her partner, Steve, also wrote his book at the retreat too. So they're both running the resort, running around like crazy people, and managed to get books done. So, you know, that's a testament to everything. So I highly recommend, if you are thinking about putting a retreat into your business space, that her location is fabulous. And in fact, it inspired me. I now run 3 retreats a year. One while I'm in Canada at the lake, launch your book at the lake. And I do one when I'm in Florida every year at launch at Cape Canaveral, because who wouldn't want to launch a book right by SpaceX? Because that's awesome, right? And then one at the beach. So pick your poison, come and get your book done if that's something that you're interested in. And I'm just going to take the next 8 minutes to kind of wrap this event up. First of all, a huge, massive, big thank you to everybody. Give Blaney some love in the chat. Steve and Eric and Chuck and Susan, were they not just amazing? Actually, it was, I feel like the guest list was just perfect for this first inaugural marketing masterclass session. And I hope that as an attendee, that you got some really valuable information out of this, and that you'll consider coming back for another masterclass session. Again, my name is Kim. I am the founder of the Book Launch Lab. So my zone of genius is helping you write a book, not just any book, but one that turns readers into clients inside of your business and really map out that client journey. And a book is really just content though, right? People seem to sometimes get overwhelmed with content and content creation. And what do I post? When do I post? How could I ever write a book? Am I even smart enough or a genius enough to write a book? And there are tools now, right? We've got AI. Who's using AI in their business? Drop an AI in the chat if you're using AI to create content for yourself, to map out scripts for webinars and for your posts on social media. And I love AI. I'm using it myself, right? But what if you could turn AI from just a content creation machine into a client attraction system on purpose, right? With intention. Because everyone out there is talking about AI. Everybody's creating more content, yet more and more business owners are seeing more posts, more work, even more overwhelm with a tool that was supposed to make it a little bit easier for us, right? Because AI doesn't necessarily create results, though strategy does. AI still needs a human behind it, creating strategy and telling it what to do. So I want to share quickly with you 3 shifts that changed everything for me with respect to using AI for content creation, to give you some food for thought as we end this first marketing masterclass. So the first shift I want you to think about is to stop creating more content. Wait, what? Like everybody's saying, post more, be more visible, be everywhere, be omnipresent. But I want you to stop creating more content and start creating better content management systems. So pop a yes in the chat if you've ever woken up asking yourself, oh my God, what am I going to post today? Right? Because you hadn't strategically thought it out. Maybe that was this morning for you. I know I've been there and done that. And it is sometimes can be overwhelming. But that question, it could be costing you hours every week. Right? And what if instead you just created one system that creates months worth of content at once? Because AI shouldn't just save you 5 minutes a day. It should be saving you 5 hours a day when it comes to your content creation. So with that shift, I want you to think about not thinking post by post by post, but I want you to think of the bigger system of what your content should be doing for you. So the second shift I want you to think about is to stop chasing the algorithm. Everybody wants to chase the algorithm. They want to go and find that next viral trend, right? But instead of chasing the algorithm, what if you just started attracting magnetically clients or leads, people that have your problem, right? Because what I do know is that likes, views, and followers, they don't pay the bills, folks, right? It's great to have one of your posts go viral, but that is not what is bringing income into your business. Clients do. So every piece of your content should do one of 3 things. It should either be attracting the right person into your world. And if it's not attracting them and getting them to raise their hand, it's building trust and providing value. So that's content piece number 2. And the third thing your content needs to do is invite people. And it doesn't always need to be inviting to a paid sale. It could be inviting them to comment and engage with your content. It could be inviting them to join a free session like a masterclass. We heard lots about group Zooms, right? So how could you be inviting someone to another step in the trust and client journey with you? And then that's it. If it doesn't attract, build trust, or invite, you shouldn't be posting it. If your content isn't moving someone towards becoming a client, it's entertainment. It's not marketing. And if you're in business, you need your marketing to be working for you. So ask yourself before posting, what is the job of this piece of content? What is this piece of content doing? Because if you can't answer that question for yourself, your audience doesn't know either. And the last shift I want you to think about is how one idea becomes everything. So if you've ever heard of pop a yes in the chat, if you've ever heard that expression, all roads lead to Rome, right? So your content should be always moving somebody down the path to the next step in the journey. Most people, though, I find are creating, right? One reel at a time, one post at a time, one story at a time, one invitation or event at a time. And then tomorrow you're starting over from scratch all over again. But instead of one post, one reel, what if it was one idea that became a reel, a carousel, an email, a blog, a LinkedIn post, a Facebook post, a newsletter, a story, a YouTube short, a TikTok, a thread, a Pinterest, whatever platform you may be on? Because the job of AI now is not just to help you create content, it should multiply your effort from 1 or 2 simple, great ideas that lead people to your offer. So what I've seen now is that the businesses winning today aren't creating more content. They're creating smarter, more strategic content. Content that builds authority, that creates trust, that saves time, and that generates clients. But here's the challenge. Knowing these 3 shifts, now that I've shared them with you, isn't the same as implementing them, right? We sometimes come to events like this and then you're left with the struggle of, okay, that was such a great idea. And now how do I get support, accountability, and help to implement? You leave inspired and then Monday comes and life gets busy and you stare at a blank screen and you're like, shit, nothing changes, right? If that sounds familiar, pop a yes in the chat. And it's exactly why I created something a little bit different. And this is a free invitation for you. And it's my weekly AI content creation workshop. So surprise, surprise, it's another group Zoom. I'm going to invite you to this, only this one isn't monthly, it's weekly, and it's to move from information to implementation. Because would you also agree we've got a lot of information in the world? You can Google anything, you can YouTube anything. But where I was getting stuck was implementation. I'd get off these great calls and I wouldn't know how to take it to the next step, or I think I'm going to do it, but then I went to another great call and another great call, and now I've got a list of 10 things I need to do, and none of it got implemented. So what I always wanted was a co-working style implementation type of call where I could go and GSD, right? Get some shit done. So I'm not leaving with a to-do list, I'm leaving with a to-done list. And that's exactly what the weekly AI content creation workshop is all about. It's not another webinar where you just sit and take notes. We actually build your content together. So in last week's workshop, for example, we created 52 reels in less than 30 minutes. Everyone left with 52 reels ready to post. That's 1 year's worth of reel content from one idea using AI and a few prompts. This week, I'm showing everyone how to create scroll-stopping AI selfies that look like you hired a professional photographer without the expensive photo shoot, without the endless wardrobe changes, and without complicated editing. And this isn't like, a clone thing. It's literally just taking a selfie of yourself and then telling it, change my shirt to a blue top, put me in this background, right? So it's still your likeness, completely 100% you, but in a different environment. So you can use it for posting on social media and creating content that looks super professional, but without having to worry about always having your hair and makeup done, right? So if that sounds like something that you would like to be a part of, I'm going to drop a link in the chat and you'll come and learn how to create content that not only attracts clients that does attract clients instead of just collecting likes, right? I'll help you build weeks and months worth of strategic content. Everything from reels, social posts, emails, images, AI workflows, all included. And we do one simple new thing every single week. Once you register once, you'll be invited to all of them. So you can keep showing up week after week. You'll have a community of other entrepreneurs working alongside you. You'll have accountability. You'll have that implementation I was talking about. And you'll have office hours where you can actually ask questions, get unstuck, and talk strategy around your content creation. I'd love for you to be there. Because don't forget, AI isn't the advantage anymore. Everybody's using AI. The advantage comes to those people who are using it, implementing it, and doing it strategically with purpose. So I'd love you to become one of the people that come to the workshop. I'll see you inside there. I'll drop the link right now into the chat, and then we will stop. I'm only 2 minutes over. It's a small miracle, I think, because I'm a talker like everyone else on this panel. And so what we'll do now is, let me pop that in to the chat because I can't think and talk at the same time. Go ahead and click on that link. Let me know that it sends you to the registration page. By the way, this was the exact strategy that Eric was sharing about just creating a Zoom registration link. Not even a fancy go high level landing page, folks. If you want to host a group Zoom, you can just do it in Zoom, right? Everybody's got Zoom. You can just click a button and it says register and it makes people register. So I'd love to see you there. And we can now stop and open up the floor to questions for anyone else who may have some questions for any one of the speakers that are still on. I know Eric had to leave right on the bottom of the hour, and so I think did Susan, but we've still got a few of the speakers here. And if anyone has any questions, a burning desire to leave some comments or whatever, we can open the floor up now. I've got another 25 minutes on my clock that I can stay and answer questions, but by all means, at this point, if you need to go, you need to go. Thanks, Steve. Thanks, Blaney. Thanks, Chuck, for being part of the inaugural event. Lance, Steffi, Kathleen, I see you guys on video. I don't know who else is still in the room, but please feel free to unmute and ask a question if you have any.
Thanks, Kim. I don't have any questions. That was great, though. Fantastic speakers, great content. Thank you, everybody.
Thanks, Lance. Lance is in the process of writing 2 books right now. He's a master talent seeker out of Canada, navigating executives, getting sliced off the chopping block in their 50s and not knowing what to do. He gets them hired and ready to head back into the workforce.
Corporate Game of Thrones.
Yes, that's for sure.
Chuck, I would love to get you onto the masterclass sessions as well to talk more about affiliate and ambassadors, because so many people don't they don't understand how powerful it can be. And one of my good friends and also one of the sponsors of one of my other businesses, Steffi Lewis, who is here tonight, she was talking about an affiliate and ambassador program was it today, Steffi? Unmute yourself.
It was. I'm actually building it for one of my social products, your ping, which is good. So it's nearly done. I'm just putting marketing collateral together so people can very quickly share it and share their affiliate links and stuff. So I think it's level 3 ambassadors, isn't it?
Yep, level 3.
Yeah, Steve, that sounds awesome. I just dropped my LinkedIn and my email in the chat there. And yeah, I'd love to have you on my podcast as well.
Fantastic. Would love to.
Connections and collaborations happening as we speak. Feel free, anyone who's a guest, to also drop your contact information in the chat with a little blurb about who you are, what you do. Who knows? Maybe your next client is sitting in this room. Blaney, it was lovely to see you. We'll get back on soon. I've got a couple of things I wanted to chat with you about retreat-wise, and say hi to Steve for me, okay? Stay cool. Hey, Greg, nice to see you. Thanks, Kim. I'll look forward to seeing you at the content creation. See that you registered. That's awesome.
I've just put mine in as well, Chuck, just my official business card, etc.
That's awesome. Thanks, Steve.
Kimberly,
Kim, I sent you an email. I sent you an email so that we can book a time to connect and meet and talk about your next event.
Yeah, amazing. I'm excited.
Well done. Well done, Kimberly.
Well done today, Kim. It's awesome. Thank you.
Thank you, guys. I mean, you guys as the speakers made it what it is. So I'm so excited that you were here, and so many great golden nuggets.
Kimberly, I'll ping you the Zoom link for tomorrow so you get into the room, right?
Yeah, I'm going to go right back to now promoting that. It's like next on the list. What's on the docket
see you tomorrow.
Next? Bye, Steve.
See you later.
Take care. All right. Beautiful.